Some of the fan base out there is already labeling Broderick Jones a bust. And from my perspective, I really just don't understand it. Yes, last year, it took him a little bit of a time to get into the lineup. There was Dan Moore in front. Then he started playing right tackle. He has played right tackle before. And I also understand that the fan base is like, yes, we need to move him to left tackle. Last night's game or yesterday's game, whatever it was, I've done a few videos now talking about the Steelers and my reaction. I think it's one major overreaction. It's preseason. So in the comments below, or when you hit the like and sub and all those YouTube things, if you want to support my channel, Steelers Nation Australia, haven't seen me yet on YouTube. G'day, guys. Welcome to Steelers Nation Australia. I'm Mark. I'm a massive fan for the last 24 years, 25, 26 years, right? I don't follow Aussie rules or any of that stuff. I'm not going to. It's fun to watch. And I'm a Pittsburgh fan or Steelers fan from Australia, right? And here's, I guess, my perspective on this whole Broderick Jones situation. Firstly, I just want to say that people are allowed to make mistakes, right? That was definitely yesterday. Yesterday was not a good game. It was a horrible game in terms of the offense. Our defense played well. So Herbig and Benton, making big plays. Our punter, he also played well. But from an offensive side, I think we were expecting to see a lot better. Myself included. I want to see Wilson go out there and throw 70 yards, get a TD, 7 for 9 completion, and have like a rhythm to the offense. We just didn't see that. And largely so because of Broderick Jones at right tackle. However, what I saw, though, in a few of the comments around the internet, and I keep saying I shouldn't read them, but I always do. I look around the internet and I try and get some news, my mind right now is consumed by Pittsburgh Steelers media 24/7. We're getting to the heart of the season. Like the season is just about to start and it's going to ramp up and go crazy. But everyone, or maybe not everyone, but a lot of people I think around the internet are saying that Broderick Jones is a bust, that he's done, it's over. That experiment, either put him to left tackle or even then, he'd get rid of him. He sucks. But can't a player have a bad game? I find this stuff funny. Now, I wasn't the biggest Claypool fan, but I was chipping at him over and over and over. And now he's almost, put himself out of the league because he has an injury. So you can be critical. You should be critical. As fans, yes, we pay our dollars, our jerseys. We should be critical of the players. And that's why we watch football, to cheer our team on and to see who's the best player. Put the best 53 on the field, the best 11 on defense, on offense. You should be allowed to be critical. I'm not saying that you can't. But is it not an overreaction? Is it not an overreaction so far that we're going to throw the first round pick from last year? He's 2 years in. He's 2 years into the league in the NFL. And I feel like right now he's been thrown under the bus. He's public enemy number one. It's Jones. No, you suck. You're terrible. Get out of my team. We don't want you. That's what I feel like it is from the performance last night. Yes, he got absolutely driven back on ice skates. Dead set. The Bills player, shout out to whoever you were. You did a fantastic job getting around the right tackle, coming around and putting pressure on Wilson, stepping up and getting sacks. Now, the offensive line as a whole, too, wasn't the best performance you've ever seen them play in our Steelers' lives. But at the same time, I go back to it's preseason, right? Some of the takes I talked about yesterday or last night in my Australia, right, as you guys were sleeping in America, was people were going after Mike Tomlin and they want to get rid of him, even though he's got a 4-year deal. These things just aren't going to happen. Now, what I will talk about in the ideas with Broderick Jones, yes, I wouldn't mind seeing him back to play his natural left spot, his left tackle, right? Dan Moore gets a lot of heat too, playing offensive line. But I've always liked Dan Moore. Dan Moore's been solid, consistent, hasn't been over the most flashy player, but he's been consistent. And yes, he can make some errors too, just like Jones did last night, going back on his ice skates. But I would like to see that Broderick Jones does move to left tackle. That would be something I think is going to happen. And the organization has talked about, Andy Weidl's talked about it, Omar Khan's talked about it, that he will play his natural position, I think, in time. Now, Troy Fautanu, he's been injured. So it looks like he's going to play right tackle. Does he play right tackle week 1? I don't know. Do you have him sit out a week or two if he's still injured? And Broderick Jones has to, for now, for the moment, has to play right tackle, and you see Dan Moore play left. Is that a better pairing as we go into the season? Now, of course, it's not the best not the best case scenario to jump around and have all different kinds of players moving everywhere, not having a solid five. But that's not overly realistic too of the NFL. Players get injured and also teammates need to step up in terms of that player getting injured. But what I really find funny and a bit crazy in this point is that we're 0-2 in the preseason. Last season, the Kenny Pickett train was going wild, man. I was up front. I was, stoking the coal. I was blowing the horn. I was driving the bus, the train. I was flying the plane. I was on Kenny Pickett mania. I was like, this guy is going to have a great season. Then we went down and got smashed by the 49ers. Preseason doesn't tell you everything. Preseason, you can almost just watch for some individual battles to do with the running backs or to do receivers or gunners or cornerbacks or maybe defensive line and take it as that. Preseason doesn't take into account when it's 4th and 2, you probably should be punting rather than going for it. Or preseason doesn't take into account when you're 10 yards away, you should go for a field goal and not go for the end zone. Things change of that nature. So in terms of the overreaction for Broderick Jones, I just really don't understand it. The overall hate that I see online for him for the fact that he had one bad game this year, or maybe last week too, maybe 2 consistently bad games in a row. The world's like, oh my goodness, it's all over, right? I support these guys, and so do you. You support the Pittsburgh Steelers of black and the gold. And when you look at it, the season hasn't even begun yet, and there's already drama around this right tackle. Jones isn't the guy. He's a bust. Can we rely on him for the future? Have we ever not heard of adversity? Go through the pain, the troubles, the journey that is our team. And yes, it wasn't the best. I'm not giving them any excuses about yesterday in terms of the offense being lackluster or the fact they couldn't hold up the offensive line for Russell Wilson to make plays. I'm just saying at this point in the season, when the season really hasn't even begun, it's not that fair to go after a second-year player, Broderick Jones, who played well at right tackle last year. In all circumstances, it's been happening. He played well enough to be there, to be like one of the guys going downfield, run blocking and showing his physicality, running down the field and clearing lanes for Warren and Najee. And there's some real angst and some real energy, pissed off energy from the fans saying, "Oh, what? Oh, just Jones. I don't know about that Jones. Do we believe in Jones? He's just, I think he's a bust." I just don't understand it. Is there no process from maybe where do you guys not have erasers in America? When you buy a pencil, do you not have an eraser as well? Right? No. That's all I want to leave you with today is Broderick Jones. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll learn and get better at his position for what had happened last night and the week before. Maybe it isn't his natural position, but also maybe from a certain viewpoint, maybe it's not time to freak out. Where a lot of fans are freaking out and saying he's not the guy, he shouldn't be at right tackle, he should be at left, and this, and he's a bust, he's terrible. We need to trade him away, get rid of Jones. He's a first-round bust. The overall overreaction is sometimes very comical to me in the fact that it's preseason 0-2, and our Steelers still have one more game to go versus the Detroit Lions, and we don't even start the season for another few weeks versus the Falcons. And when that time comes, let's hope that our Steelers fan base can at least get behind the team and not give up straight away. From my personal opinion and my personal viewpoint, I'm getting behind Broderick Jones, and I think he can change things. He can turn it around. He can only get better. Yes, last night was absolutely terrible. He got driven back 3 times. But it's not time to hit the panic button and say it's all over, or it's not time to hit the panic button and say Broderick Jones is a bust, or label him a bust and it's all done, or Pat Myers sucks and this offense is worse than Canada's fire Matt Canada's. All that crap is just an overreaction to what we saw. And you're allowed that reaction, but I just find it really, really crazy and wild. The reaction, it's a preseason game. We lost 9-3. The Pittsburgh Pirates scored more points in runs than we did yesterday. And yeah, that's pretty funny. But it means that this team can get better. They can look at themselves in the mirror and say, I don't know, Broderick Jones or Nick Herbig. By the way, he did great. Nick Herbig, I did great. Well, Broderick Jones, I did bad last night. I'm going to play better next week. I'm going to get better on my fundamentals. I'm going to work hard and be the best that I can be. Now, that's a Disney approach. And maybe some of you guys out there don't like the Disney approach of mine, the hopefulness and the overall optimism. But that's the way I always see life. When things are really shit and terrible, you figure it out. You figure it out. You look at the problem and you solve it. You get better. You can always get better. All right, Steeler Nation. I'll see you guys later on for the live in another few hours. See you later.